Hello again, this is Gail Cameron from My Pocket Coach Wednesday Wisdoms. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about the neural circuitry of fear. Over the last 6 months, we've been really busy helping people deal with increased stress and anxiety. When you understand the neural circuitry of fear, it's really quite simple to understand the pathways of renewal and what you can do to counteract the stress and its deleterious effects on the body. So it starts off by being stressed, anxious, nervous. And when I ask clients, when have you not felt that this year? Most people will say, I can't remember when I didn't feel that. So with this increase in stress and fearful anxiety feelings, it leads to what is called power stress. And power stress happens when you have an obligation to influence people. So most of us are in the world because we have to influence people. If you lived on a potato farm and you didn't have to see anybody, you probably would have a lot less stress. And what happens when power stress is alerted is that in the brain is this neural circuitry of fear. And let's say you don't have a favorable interaction, that you can pick up negative undercurrents in that meeting, or perhaps that your project hasn't gone as well as you'd hoped. What happens then is that all this negative information that we process via our senses goes into the emotional brain. And here, sophisticated computers start comparing this to past experiences. And if there's no satisfying answer, the amygdala in the emotional brain hits the panic button. And when this structure has been alerted, the neurons start firing on the right-hand side of the prefrontal cortex. And with that, the negative hormones flood the brain and body. And of course, what these hormones do is they secrete cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And it's the stress hormone that attacks your immunoglobulin A. So your immune system becomes suppressed. Now, if you repeat this over long periods, you are going to begin to get sick. So if you start feeling that this is damaging your relationships, that your health is being affected, that you can't sleep well at night, you have probably entered the sacrifice syndrome. The way to get out of the sacrifice syndrome is really simple, and there are 3 pathways that need to be opened. And the first is mindfulness. That is a conscious awareness of self, heart, mind, body, spirit. And it needs to be done in a holistic, integrated, and scientific way. And the best way to do this is to take a deep excavation into knowing yourself. And there are a whole lot of questionnaires which we're happy to pass on to you if you would like to take a deep look at getting to know yourself. Because when you go in at that level, you will find there are a lot of things that you don't know about yourself. When mindfulness is switched on, it leads to hope. And hope is critical for us as a species, as we have seen how in the absence of hope, people die. When hope is switched on, it leads to compassion. And compassion is actively feeling for yourself first. Our culture, and especially that of Ubuntu, has always meant that we give to others before we help ourselves. But actually, that's the wrong way round, because you can't pour from an empty cup. If your cup is empty and you are running on brain fumes, this is a very, very good way to burn out. So compassion starts with you. And compassion doesn't mean having a long soak in a tub or eating something that you desire. It's about crafting a life that you do not want to escape from. When these 3 pathways are active and open, the neurons fire on the left-hand side of the prefrontal cortex. And then the good hormones are secreted into the body. And these good hormones fight the bad hormones. And this creates a virtuous cycle. And it leads to resilience. You can deal with a lot. And generally these people create an amazing legacy. So it's really not a complicated process. If you want more information, please don't hesitate to call us or email us at My Pocket Coach.